Well, hello there. Welcome to On the Beat, the podcast that uncovers full frontal male nudity in cinema. My name is Laura, and I am joined by my enslaved Ryan.
Yeah, hello.
And we are also joined by our special guests, Kat and Josh from Uncomfortable Brunch.
Hello.
Hi.
Because you recently showed the 1975 political art horror film SALΟ, or The 120 Days of Sodom.
Would you call it horror?
I like to pull that off of the internet, and then we can talk about
the
it.
interwebs called
The
it horror?
interweb called it a political art horror. But yeah, I think so.
Okay.
In some ways, I would definitely say it was. I mean, it's a horror.
It's pretty horrible.
It's horrific.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Oh, dear.
I don't know. So I like to think of horror sometimes. If I'm put into that situation, am I afraid?
Well,
I am.
it'd be real upsetting if you weren't.
Yeah.
If you were in your element.
I was into
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, there
You
were
know
a
at
few
least-
of them that were like, yeah, let's do this.
There was a couple people that were
I mean,
like,
if you're gonna,
Might as well lean into it.
that's kind of like if
Ooh.
you're gonna get, I just want to sit back and enjoy it.
Oh, God. Can we cut that out?
I totally got you guys to say that. I was hoping that was where that was gonna go.
No.
okay, this film was directed by Pier Paolo Pasolini. And if for those of you who haven't seen SALO, the synopsis pulled from Letterboxd is 4 corrupted fascist libertines round up 9 teenage boys and 9 teenage girls and subject them to 120 days of sadistic physical, mental, and sexual torture.
Are you like a game show host and Stay Tuned? What's going on here?
Yes. It just makes it land a little bit better.
And really, it's like 8 boys and 8 girls because, like, one boy gets shot before
Well, they
get
round up.
Yeah,
9 of
they
each.
round up 9, but they really end up with 8.
And then
And then the other girl, like, kills herself as soon as they get
and
there.
then there's less, and then there's less, and less. And well, the tagline is, which I guess makes sense, but it doesn't have anything to do with the film, is the final vision of a controversial filmmaker.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
Like, okay.
sure.
I mean, that's
true.
one way to sell it.
I mean,
suppose. Yeah.
it was part of a trilogy that he didn't get to finish, so it's really disappointing.
Yeah. I mean, they should have just put in it's like he was tortured and murdered himself. Pretty much, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
I wouldn't
it
say
was
tortured.
Yeah,
but-
he was just beat to death.
Oh, I
So-
thought you meant like tortured as an artist his entire life. I think he had it pretty cush.
Yeah, I think he was
He
fine.
seemed like he was having a nice time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan, would you like to tell us about Pasolini? This is our first
Yes.
Pasolini. I assume we're gonna
Huh.
revisit this guy.
There's a lot of them.
There is a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah, there
I
is a
can't
lot.
wait.
So Pier Paolo Pasolini was an Italian poet, film director, writer, actor, and playwright. He was incredibly and openly gay, like very much so. An avoid Marxist after the end of World War II. His murder, his abduction, torture, and murder caused public outcry. It's probably one of the most tragic chapters of the filmmaking history. And yeah, it's remained unsolved, and people believe he was the victim of far right terrorism. But yes, SALO was his last film and probably his most controversial, if not continuing to be one of the most controversial films ever made. His works show the hallmarks of Italian neorealism, but slightly more morally objectionable for the time. But his works are obviously a little bit too late for that particular period. He was a writer, though, because he did write La Dolce Vita, among other things. And his filmography is huge, and I'm deeply regretting writing down every single one, because obviously SALO is his last fucking film. So let's try.
I was like, you can. I was like, you can skip to your favorites.
I could, but if I do it once, I never have to do it again. Oh, it's
I
episode
hope everyone's
101. It's okay.
Writing them down.
I mean, I hope so. I'm going to get them all wrong. So let's start off with Acatone in 1961, Mama Roma 1962, Rogo Pa G in 1963, La Rabia 1963, Gospel According to St. Matthew, very famous movie. 1964, Love Meetings in 65, Location Hunting in Palestine. 1965, Hawks and Sparrows. 66, The Witches. 67, Oedipus Rex. 1967, Torima. 1968, Appunti per un film sull'India. 1968, Caprice Italian Style. 1968, Love and Anger. 1969, Pigsty. 69, Medea, the first in the series. 1969, Notes Towards African Orestes. 1970, The Decameron. 1971, Canterbury Tales. 72, Body Tales. 73, Arabian Nights. 74, and then we end up on SALO.
Oh!
We got it. We did it.
Yay!
And that was in 1975.
It sure was. You were talking about his murder. I'm interested, you guys at your expansion of Uncomfortable Brunch, which is very exciting because now you are in Maitland at Enzian, and then you also are now in Tampa
Yep.
at Sunray.
Sunray Cinema.
And SALO was the first film that you debuted there.
That's correct.
So I wanted to ask how that was for you guys. And also, I wanted to hear a little bit more because you guys talked a bit at the screening about the murder and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I had some notes as well. And I was just kind of interested if you remember what you guys talked about.
Yeah, I mean, you can go.
It was a really long weekend because we were down in Miami like the day before we showed Secretary, and then
you guys were all over the place.
yeah,
that
and then the
weekend.
next day we were out in Tampa, and so we were like going through the notes and
Basically in the research that I've done over the years, and there's, like Ryan said, there seems to be this conspiracy that it was far-right terrorism that brought him down. And there is evidence to suggest that may be the case, but everything that I've read, I've come to the belief that it's probably just a situation where somebody noticed that he was fucking a dude because he was picking up a prostitute,
Right.
didn't like it, and beat the shit out of him and killed him. It was a random hate crime, and it sucks, and life doesn't necessarily always have anything that makes it make sense. So, I don't know. That's kind of what I've gathered. I mean, I don't think the government gave a shit one way or the other.
Right.
Getting rid of that, that incredibly outspoken gay communist. Probably they didn't care too much one way or the other that he was dead, but I strongly doubt that the Italian government had any hand in it, or any fascists had any real hand in it.
yeah, I'm curious, like, because I was looking into the details, just like skimming through it, and like the one guy who was tried and I think convicted of his murder, part of it was that he was driving Pasolini's car, and Pasolini had been run over with his own car.
Right.
And so that was like strong evidence
Right.
to suggest that he was connected because he was seen driving the car. And so, I mean, I don't think that there was probably any like political conspiracy, but it might have been more so just like, just shit happens.
I was reading about the fact like that some of the reels of the film were stolen and then they had to do reshoots. And I read that his friend, the director Sergio Citti, was like testifying that like on the afternoon that he was like the day he died, he was like coaxed and like almost like ransomed to go pick up the stolen reels of the film. And that was like how they coaxed him into coming out and then murdered him.
Yeah, I read about that too. And
Weird.
I'm not really sure because there seems like there's just like a disconnect between like a lot of different pieces of information.
Right.
So I don't think we'll ever really know like what actually transpired. And
Of
it's
course.
probably like an Occam's razor type thing. I don't think it's going to be like anything crazy, but who knows?
Yeah.
I just think that overall he was, and when they say someone is outspoken, that's probably a very good reason why there's going to be people out there who are very angry with him. And I think it was just misfortune that he got ran over by his own car.
Yeah.
It might be completely unlinked. He's
That's
like, fuck,
rough.
he's going to pick up a lad you know, in the area, what's so speak. And then just so happens he didn't put his parking brake on, goes to open the trunk, and he's like, oh shit, and it fucking starts to run him over.
You think he ran himself over?
Like Anton Yelchin?
Yeah. It's like...
No, but he was like beat before he was run over with his car. So he was definitely...
Right, okay.
It wasn't like a freak accident.
I thought it was like completely, like the order of it was that, he'd ran himself over with his own car, and he's like, you'll never believe what just happened to me. And then he gets the shit kicked out of him.
I knew someone that ran themselves over with their car.
Did they survive?
Yeah. He was working on his car, and then it just like started rolling backwards on top of him. He's okay.
This is awful. Yeah.
Well, that's just like...
When he told this story when I saw him, I'm like, what? Did you actually run yourself over? Because he was trying to make an auto claim for it. I go, I don't know if that's how that works, my friend. But sure, try and call your insurance and see if they'll pay for that one.
I mean, there's stranger things that's happened. There's at least 2 to 3 deaths a year linked to people tripping and falling into clothes horses that are covered in wet towels. And people die by getting caught up in the clothes horses and drowning on the wet towels.
What's a clothes horse?
Like a drying rack.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for like clothes, like a clothes rack.
Oh, I could have just used like context clues for that.
Yeah. So you just trip and fall, and you're slowly.
Yeah, because depending on the one that you
waterboarded
have,
by your own wet towels, which is kind of odd.
You couldn't
just
really
waterboard yourself.
Yeah. Because we have one that we use, but I don't think you could.
We have a tumble dry our towels to avoid that, like that.
That's why you tumble dry yours.
Just in case.
That reminds me. There's a really good waterboarding scene in A Working Man. You gotta go see it. It's so good.
I'm not gonna let this opportunity pass by again to where we don't pre-plan the next Jason Statham movie.
Oh yeah,
like that is a damn shame, and we're gonna rectify that immediately.
Man with an occupation.
Yeah,
the movie.
It's 5 stars. It's everything I wanted Beekeeper to be and more.
Because I love Beekeeper, but I'm excited about Working Man.
It's better than Beekeeper.
Well, I'm sure. I'm sure.
It's better than Beekeeper.
It's like if Beekeeper were also written by Sylvester Stallone. Because this is written by Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Right, okay.
I didn't know Sylvester Stallone wrote all of Statham's movies.
Sly and Ayer wrote it together. Sorry. I'm sorry, Pasolini. This is really offensive.
Oh, yeah. We should probably get back to Pasolini.
I don't know if Jason Statham's character in A Working Man had a bunch of best friends, but I sure know that SALO is a story about best friends, the Duke, Bishop, Magistrate, and the President.
I'm just saying, Statham could make SALO, but Pasolini could never make A Working Man.
Who do you think Statham would be in SALO?
All of them. He could be everyone.
Just like wear mustaches and glasses?
Yeah. Actually, I like an idea of a Muppets version, and Statham could be the 4 libertines.
Yeah.
And the Muppets are the rest of the characters.
Yeah.
Oh, I like the idea of the Muppets being the libertines and then them torturing
little children.
Oh no, you kicked the table.
I know I kicked the table. I'm sorry. I was there.
We've gone 100 episodes, and we're getting to the point where we just don't care about the sound quality anymore.
Yeah.
It's high enough. Yeah.
It's enough.
Yes.
Well, this film is a loose adaptation of the 1785 novel that was first published in 1904, The 120 Days of Sodom by the Marquis de Sade. And I found out because Ryan and I are going on a trip to France for my birthday. And I found out that the Marquis de Sade's villa castle is like 40 minutes away from a place that we're staying. So we can go see like the fuck house.
Yeah, which one? Is it Lacoste?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where like a lot of stuff happened.
Yeah, we can go to that tortured castle.
Cool.
Fucking France, man.
I'm so excited.
This guy was kicked out of the fucking army, like, back in the 18th century. You know what I mean? Like, how fucked up was he when he got kicked out of the fucking army during a time of fucking war? So God knows what this man was up to.
Well, and also, he had a direct bloodline to the king, so he just, like, kept getting away with stuff.
That makes sense.
Like, year over year. after he
That sounds familiar.
yeah. So like after he got out of the army, I put it in quotes when I was making my notes. I was like, he fell in love with a nobleman's daughter, but was abruptly rejected after 2 months of courtship, probably because she figured out he was a fucking weirdo. He was enraged and threatened to blackmail her. He threatened to blackmail her by blaming his venereal disease on her to the next young man she courted.
What a spicy bitch.
Yeah. And so that didn't work because, like, it was just like...
I mean, certainly if spicy equates to, like, I don't know, like, pedophilia and all sorts of horrible, awful animal buggery
I mean,
or
that's
whatever.
extra spicy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the habanero of sex crimes. Yeah.
Well,
Mango habanero, because it's all still kind of sweet. Because they're just little kids.
Yeah. Here's some toys. Oh, no.
Oh. But yeah, obviously that woman didn't decide to marry him, so then his father like arranged a marriage for him, and they were married for a lot of years, and she partook in some of the stuff.
Some of the freak stuff?
Some of the freak stuff that he was into. But like, okay, so there was a specific event that I didn't get to talk about like during our intro to the film when we were at Uncomfortable Brunch, but this is most closely related to like what he wrote about in SALO, or what he wrote about in 120 Days of Sodom, which was SALO. My brain isn't working.
Yes.
So in September of 1774, he and his wife hired, and this was at the Lacoste residence.
Can't wait.
They hired 7 new servants who were all around 15 years old for one of the estates, the estate that you're going to visit. Although the details are unknown, it is possible that the orgies they included sexual intercourse and beatings of some kind.
Of course.
In January of 1775, the families of the young women.
Yeah, if we weren't recording, let's just say, if we weren't recording this episode right now, Laura would be digging into a massive, plate full of shite. Let's just be fair.
I'm starving.
Yeah.
I want to hear the rest of the story.
Right.
So, in January of 1775, the families of the young women filed charges of kidnapping and seduction, and a criminal investigation started. His wife arranged for 3 of the girls to be sent to convents until their wounds healed.
Ugh.
One of the girls remained at the estate and then died of an illness. It doesn't say what type of illness, a few months later.
Yeah, that wasn't Marquise. That was just at Neil Gaiman's house. That was a party with Gaiman and Palmer.
Oh my god.
Oh no. There's a lot of parallels. They're like, where's the convent we're supposed to send these girls to?
They fucked new holes in them.
Like bed bugs.
Oh no.
Not dissimilar.
Crash.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, crash.
Anyways, that's some details about Marquis de Sade.
I'm excited to go to this creep house
Gross.
that he
Yeah,
has.
That's a weird.
I'd be into it too, but it's
Wow,
gross.
it smells like 400 years
We're
worth
all
of
gross,
fucking
but we
semen
love
and blood in
history.
here. Yeah.
Well, last night after we decided to go ahead and record this, I was like, oh, let's watch a Marquis de Sade movie, and there's one. Yeah,
Cool.
like for funsies.
Which is weird. That's not the first time I've heard her say that either.
Well, I hadn't seen this one before, but it's from 1969. It was a Jesus Franco film called Marquis de Sade, Justine. So it was have you seen that
I've been
one?
watching some Franco movies lately. I actually haven't gotten to that one yet, but it's actually have the DVD sitting ready to watch it.
Yeah, it's
So-
on,
It's on your list.
like Tubi or...
Yeah.
No, it's on YouTube. It's on YouTube.
I think it's one of them that Full Moon put out. I bought a box set from them.
It looks like something that you would have been watching recently. Because I
The
turned
fuck
it
that
on
mean?
and it was just like, well, it just
you
opened
know.
with like boobs.
I'm offended.
Oh, he's a big fan of that. But no, actually, the thing I like about Jess Franco the most is the snap zoom in or out into pubic hair.
Yeah,
And it
okay.
doesn't really have any narrative purpose at all. It's just a shot he likes. And you know what? I do too.
What
So,
what year is it?
69.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
so he was
of
prolific
course,
for
it's 69.
45 years. That dude made like 12 movies a year.
But like the snap
That
zoom,
was something.
like that's from that period. They liked that.
That's very fun.
That's where Wes Anderson got it from.
Right.
Klaus Kinski plays the Marquis de Sade, which is
Yeah.
so appropriate.
Yeah, he also
Yeah,
played
makes
Jack
sense.
River for Franco at one point. So cool.
Klaus
I gotta
Kinski
see this.
is
Maybe I'll put it up
incredible
on the
and
list.
just a horrible person.
Yeah, the best. I love it. Everyone hated him.
When we were driving home after the screening of SALO, I think there was a moment, Ryan, where you said something about it not being that erotic or like being kind of erotic. And I think I said something about like, I agreed with you that there were some parts that were kind of sexy. And you were like, I was
Yeah.
joking. And I was like, oh.
Well, yeah, no, all I wanted you to do was admit that there was a stirring in your loins
Yeah.
from watching the movie.
There was.
And and then
And
you...
I don't feel great about that.
Well, no, you shouldn't.
No.
I mean, you really shouldn't feel
Yeah.
good about
Well, I'm sorry.
that. But no,
I thought
I mean...
we were in a safe space and
I've
I was
spent
wrong.
90% of the film watching your face because I'd seen the film before.
This was the first time I'd ever seen it. And I think
What?
I had never seen it before.
Oh man, I have it logged in my letterbox like 3 times, and I think that was mostly us showing it to people.
That makes sense.
I feel bad.
I think I had waited and waited and waited, and I was waiting for the opportunity, and it just didn't seem. It seemed like something I did want to watch with other people, right? It seemed like that would be the good time for me to do it. So then I just held off until you guys showed it for brunch, and I'm like, absolutely, this is the perfect time. And it had been built up and built up, right?
Oh,
that
yeah,
this is horrible. This is horrible. And there is a lot of times where there are films that Ryan wants to watch, right? And he's like, I don't think you're gonna like that. And I go, give me a chance. And I'm a lot worse than I used to be. Like my sensibilities have gotten, I don't
Warped.
know, warped,
Okay.
darker. You know, there are times where, I mean, even in recent history in my life where, you know, you're watching something on streaming and it gives you your trigger warnings and it says rape. I'm like, I'm not watching this. And now, like, some of my favorite films have that element in it. And that is disturbing to me in a way that I didn't expect. Like, SALO is rapey. It's a rape,
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
right.
But I liked it a lot, and I laughed quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I
It's
don't
funny.
know what's...
It's a funny movie.
It is funny.
It's funny that you say that. I actually feel like I've gone the other direction despite what I do for a career.
Right.
I found that I'm actually more sensitive than when I was even 10 years ago.
Right.
I had some friends that wanted to watch, they put on a Serbian film that I just ghosted from. I was like, I don't need this. I watched it once. I didn't need to watch it again. But about a year or two ago, I had some friends that wanted to watch Irreversible. And I was like, yeah, throw it on. Let's watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And that rape scene started, and I just went outside and had a cigarette or something. Just like, I don't need that. Seen it. I'm good. Where 10, 15 years ago, I wouldn't even thought twice about it just being on. I wouldn't have been like
Right.
excited to watch it or anything. But it wouldn't have fazed me one way or the other. But now it kind of like, unless it's work, I don't really need to endure that.
Yeah, no,
So-
I feel like I've gone the same way.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I was really into, like, that crazy stuff when I was in my 20s.
I'm not saying I'm into
No,
it.
no, no,
I
no,
want to
I'm not saying
make
you
that
are.
clear.
No, I'm not saying. It's just I
Yeah.
think that it's just interesting that how that's kind of curbed back a little bit. I think a
Yeah.
lot of it too. I don't know I don't want to speak for Ryan, but there was maybe an element when I was younger of like how fucked up can it be?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
it was more of an endurance test than it was actually
Right.
enjoying the work. I wanted to see where the limits were, and I feel like I've kind of seen them. So
I'm sure you
and
have.
that's good. That's fine.
I don't know what I was expecting. I actually did not know what this movie was about.
Mm.
I straight up didn't know.
Oh, okay.
And
Cool.
so it was really fun for me. It was. It's the same reason. I mean, I'm surprised I didn't know anything about this movie. I just knew it's gross. It's horrible. That's all anyone would ever say. No one ever describes the
Yeah.
plot of
Right.
SALO to anybody else.
Mm.
Well, it doesn't really have too
It
much of
has.
it. Well, yeah, it's a progression over time. and how fucked up it gets.
You know, I was talking a
But-
lot. I got my hair done today, and I was in there for 4 hours, and so we had a lot of conversations, and I was talking about SALO
You
quite
showed
a
them
bit today.
SALO.
And it was interesting that I'm not recommending it to people. I'm just talking about it. You know, I'm not saying you should go watch this. That's not what I'm saying. But someone was saying, is there a vindication? Because because there's some
Nope.
films where it's like, if it's horrible, you want to see, you know, the bad guys get their due. And
Like rape revenge movies.
Absolutely. And I go, oh, no.
No.
No, it's pretty malicious. It's pretty cruel.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
it's one of the meanest. It's one of the meanest films.
It actively hates the audience.
Yeah.
Just actively. Even down to just having kind of not a confusing narrative, but like, good luck keeping track of those kids. They all kind of look the same. I feel like
Yeah.
there's just a lot of chaos to it that it's really the first time I watched it alone in my living room, and it was like 4 p.m. It was like 4 p.m. on a Tuesday. And
I don't know why that just seems weird.
Yeah, it was, and I actually had a really hard time watching it. I don't think I finished it because
Yeah.
I couldn't follow it. I found myself getting distracted or whatever it was, but I think that I finally watched it in a cinema, and it was like no distractions, and I got a lot more out of it. But it's intentionally the narrative is slapped together in a way that I think is intentionally a little difficult to follow.
Yeah.
I don't know if I know that you guys had mentioned that, and watching it, I was expecting to be kind of like thrown off and confused, but maybe I was just.
I guess what I mean by that is why are the things happening that are happening? Like the stories that are being told, how do they direct? Like it felt a little random to me the first time I saw it.
It took me
Yeah.
after the first story because so there's 4 segments of the film, right? And it's separated by kind of like intertitles, and it's inspired by the Divine Comedy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have the Anti-Inferno, which is basically like rounding up everybody, right?
Right.
And then the Circle of Manias. And it's just these bordello, like these brothel madams, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are telling sexy stories. Sexy in quotations.
Sexy.
They're telling their
Sex-ish.
tale. They're sex tales, right?
Involves
Yeah,
a
and
lot
you
of butts.
Well, and it's usually
Tons of
like
butts.
it's stories from when they were a kid.
That
when
is
they
true.
were getting like molested and assaulted, but they're replaying it like it's like a sexual awakening or something.
It took me, yeah. So then there's the circle of shit and the circle of blood. And it took me maybe the first one to realize, like, oh, these tales are pushing these men in the direction. You know, I was when they started eating the poop, I was like, okay, the tales are getting them all horny for poop, or getting them horny for blood, or getting them
Yeah.
horny for getting peed in the face, you know, so.
Who needs priming for that?
I did tell every time in the cinema where the lady would be telling one of her sex tales, and then one guy would get all crazy horny and grab a little boy or grab a little girl, and I'd go turn to Ryan and go, he likes it.
I think my favorite one of those was whenever he grabbed the girl and then had her pee on his face.
That is a favorite of mine as
And
well.
at first she's like, I need to relax. Like, I can't pee on.
I bet she was so relieved. I've been talking about that one specifically because she's probably thinking, oh no, it's going to be something horrible. I'm going to have to do something horrible to this guy. But then she gets to pee on his face.
I feel like that would be way harder. I would never be able to do it.
Well, she's probably thinking she's going to get raped.
Sure.
I'd rather pee on somebody.
I would too, but I don't
Yeah.
think I could physically do it.
Oh, I could definitely do it.
Wow.
I haven't
There
done
was some
it.
conviction behind that.
We are not kink shaming in
I am.
here.
I am.
I've never partaken in water sports, to be clear.
Oh, me either. But yeah, it's these ladies are getting these guys all riled up for their creepy tales. But man, that poop one really, really lasted the longest, I felt like.
Yeah, it's
The
pretty
first one was kind of short. The last one was just horrific. But man, they let that poop really, it was like a big through line with a poop. Non-stop poop. All through to the end of the movie.
Could we say there was maybe too much poop?
Well,
Like, rides that horse maybe a little too long, personally.
I don't agree.
What
I think it's just the right amount.
What was the poop made of?
With chocolate and
marmalade.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
delicious.
Just, yeah, so you know who would like it? Paddington.
Paddington would love it.
Yeah.
Oh,
But he's
Paddington
already a
and-
wild animal. He's probably used to eating other animals' shit just in general. The marmalade is just a
Paddington-
delicious treat.
Paddington does not eat shit.
He fucking does eat shit. He's
I
a
don't think
bear.
He actively does. But
You
he
think he
certainly has.
didn't
No
have
way.
a little moment to himself when he's maybe in the jungle and he's on his
If
own
nothing
and
else,
he's
he lets his
like,
own asshole out. So
he's
you're
like,
gonna get a
he's
little
gotta stay
dollop
clean.
then.
I hate this Paddington slander. Oh my god.
I know. I
It's
don't
not
like it.
slander. I'm just trying to humanize him.
They
a little
don't-
bit. He's a person
Yeah.
like anyone else.
and also he's
You
a
lick your
fucking,
own butthole?
If I could, I
You
would.
eat poop?
If I
Anthro-
could, are you
a
kidding
fucking
me? I'd be
talking
doing it right now.
anthropomorphic bear.
I'll be hanging out with you fucking assholes. I'd be
No.
at home.
I bet there's been a time where he's
Take care of
accidentally,
business.
he's accidentally pissed on his coat or something, because he's just a bear.
Okay.
A little bit of poop came out.
He is a special bear from Darkest Peru.
and he's
okay.
he's porky pigging too. He's wearing a coat, but he's not wearing trousers. So
I'm aware. I'm aware of Paddington's outfit. Mm-hmm. He's a perfect bear and a perfect gentleman. Mind your manners. That's what he would tell these boys in SALO. He'd go, mind your manners.
And what do you think would happen then? Then
They would-
Paddington gets
yeah,
ganked.
someone
He'd
be-
get,
yeah.
yeah, he would. He'd get.
Yeah.
yeah,
Probably.
that creepy
Branded.
weird one who had the fucking shit on his lips is pulling his hand and putting him in a room and forcing him to do horrible things
Yep.
to him.
Paddington got fisted that night.
Oh, I don't know if I can do this. Oh no.
Oh, Aunt Lucy told me
I've
always
got-
be polite.
Oh, he's wanting me to defecate in his mouth.
Well, that's something that we didn't see. The
No.
direct
Poop in a mouth.
defecation
No.
into.
Well, I think in terms of like the poop range of this movie, that's the one thing we didn't really see. One of my favorite bits in the movie is when he squats and you can see it like just over the side of the table. Then it cuts to that shot where
Yeah.
he's just sitting up, pulling his pants up, and there's just a poop just
Oh,
sitting
right.
on the ground. Yeah.
I leaned over to you during that part as well, and I go, "Oh, we peed a little. Can't poop without some pee." That's how you know it's real.
and then they give her the spoon to help.
The spoon to eat the
fucking hell.
poo.
Oh man.
So, I'm trying not to do it.
Oh, fuck.
It's poop again. Okay.
We went a while without
I
you
know.
doing it.
I was telling everybody about how during the movie and after the movie to Ryan, I kept saying it's poop again, and I don't need to say it, but it's from Billy Madison, right? And he just would smile and like not quite acknowledge, and so I
didn't-
would keep doing the
didn't know.
joke until he
didn't know.
laughed the way I wanted him to
Yeah.
laugh. Until it never happened, and then you admitted that you didn't know what the hell I was talking
Aye,
about.
but you're not even mentioning the 2 hours that we had playing 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon in the car, either.
Well, yeah, and we never did Adam Sandler. Maybe it would have come up sooner.
Maybe. Well, that's maybe something for others to think about. How do you get from Adam Sandler to Kevin Bacon in 6 movies or less?
How do you get from Adam Sandler to Pasolini? How do you get from Kevin Bacon to Pasolini? There you go.
I mean, I don't know. I'd have to figure out what movies he's been in. That's going to be a stretch. Yeah, that's going to be a real stretch.
I'll get
How
back
do we
to it.
how do we get Pasolini to JFK?
Oh.
Yeah, like how does that work? It'd be even funnier if it's Pasolini to Hollow Man or something.
That'd be great.
Yeah, that's the thing.
mean,
It's
they
not
both
about
have
how
great-
quickly you can get there
I'm-
with the
I'm
straightest
aware.
route. It's how you get there creatively. That's what makes the game fun.
The rape in Hollow Man is like the most horrible.
It's great. It's so good. It's
It's-
so good. It's like he goes invisible first thing, rape. Like it
It's
is the
pretty
most
much-
honest invisible man
It's
movie ever made.
Paul Verhoeven going,
Wasn't it like the
What
entity,
would you do
though?
if you went
It's
invisible?
Paul Verhoeven saying, "What would I do?"
Yeah, yes,
that is what
exactly.
Paul Verhoeven's doing there.
He's like,
But it's
I'm
not-
I'm hiding in a closet. I go invisible.
But it's not as
I rape.
bad as
Yeah.
the entity, though, with like the fake boobs.
That's really good.
It's like
Oh,
Barbara
that's so
Hershey with the
good.
fakey boobs that
No,
are being like.
that was Stan Winston.
Is it Stan Winston?
Yeah, it was really Stan Winston.
That's fucking crazy and awesome all at once. That's a fucking
yeah,
fantastic.
the full body latex.
Yeah.
I watched
Oh,
that.
yeah.
You're looking up this thing with Molly Ringwald?
Yeah, but there's 3 of us here. Sorry, 4 of us here.
Yes.
Sorry, Josh.
No problem.
Yes, there are. I don't know. I think that experience at the cinema seeing this was really quite a treat for me. I did not expect to laugh as much as I did. And there were kind of parts towards the end where I really, during the torture, where they're being bad boys and girls and they had to wear the ribbons, where I was like, am I going to actually watch this? Because there was also a lot of question about prosthetics, right? And I think when we are watching things that are, I don't know, earlier than like pre-2000s, right? I just expect them to be real. I expect these penises and other things. Well, I mean, obviously they're not going to like cut out a real human tongue, right? At this point, or pop out a real eyeball. But with the wieners, specifically in this motion picture,
There's quite a few that are a little suspect.
So before I say anything else, I think most of them are fake because they have to be big.
not most of them.
Most of
just
them.
the one.
I mean,
just the
one
one
of them.
that the
One
guy
of them looks
was-
like it's made out of fucking wax. Like it's grey. It doesn't look particularly
That
convincing.
scene was the sexy scene that I was talking about. It was like a guard and one of the best friends.
Oh yeah, the gay sex.
yeah,
Yes.
that was awesome.
Yeah, and then
no,
you see his
that was like the
penis,
only-
and it looks
perfectly-
like it's made out
perfectly
of
good with
wax.
that.
I think
Yeah.
I made a noise. I was like afraid when I
It
saw
looked-
that penis.
It looked odd. It
It
did
was
look
like
odd.
it was like bigger than my forearm
Yeah, it was quite
in
large.
girth and length. It was it was like to his knee. No wonder he was like
Yeah, but it
his
didn't.
favorite.
I think it's not so much that it
Well, I don't
looks
even know if you
obscenely
would want-
large. It's that it doesn't look convincing. It doesn't look real, and I don't think it is real.
Gosh, I was saying no wonder he liked him, but I wouldn't. That would be
Yeah,
painful.
that's like into your
in a butt.
butthole,
Yeah,
Right up in your
You'd
gut.
never be the
Doesn't-
same.
because like
Yeah.
the vagina will open up to accommodate,
Right, the butthole is.
but the butthole is not. It's usually an exit.
I mean, it can.
Yeah,
I think it can open up a little bit.
You can dilate it.
You can
but
open
I
up a
don't think it.
butthole.
I don't think it dilates as much as like a vagina does,
No.
because a vagina can like birth a baby.
Right. You can't do an Arnold Schwarzenegger butt baby type of thing. I know they didn't.
The
I know
butt baby.
I know they didn't. It didn't come out of his butt.
Butt baby.
Butt baby.
Butt baby. Let it be known
That was a male
on this
cesarean.
day.
Totally
That was a
different.
male cesarean. When Tenacious D used to be best friends, and they had
Before Jack
concerts.
Black was a dick and
Yeah.
burned it all to the ground for Minecraft
Yeah.
or whatever the fuck.
Fucking narc.
Yeah, exactly. They would have a whole show on stage about the butt baby, a whole butt baby, and it'd be covered in poo. It was really good times back when Tenacious D was cool.
One of my favorite comics I've ever seen is like if men had babies, and I always send like a screenshot of it to Josh, and it's like this part where the baby births out of the tip of the penis, and and then it gets like the penis gets deflated because it just like birthed out the baby. It's so gross.
It's very clearly a comic from Hustler in the early 80s or late 70s.
Oh, really?
Like, it is very much that kind of style. Yeah, I'm convinced that's where it came from.
Oh,
Maybe,
wow.
but it's one of my favorite things. And so whenever it comes up on like my memories or I just think about it, I'll search it up and I'll send it to Josh.
One penis that could birth a baby would definitely be the guy from SALO.
Yeah,
A baby could come out of there no problem.
probably.
But you think there were other ones? All the other ones looked pretty normal. Most of them
At
looked.
the end, I think there were some that
Some
seemed
extra.
like they could be questionable.
You
but
know
I'm
the
not
ones
certain.
like in the trousers, like the mustache man with
Yeah.
like the sweatpants.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like the clear. But that, I mean, John Hamm has like a penis like that. So.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I haven't seen it
Oh, there's pictures
Oh, of the sweatpants?
of John Hamm playing baseball.
Why
And you
did
can
look
see.
this up? I'm not going to take any judgment for any shit that I watch if you're fucking looking up John Hamm dick pics.
You can just see the outline.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
Those sweatpants.
The most corrupting
Yeah.
of sports.
Or sports
baseball.
Pants.
Yeah.
Sports trousers.
That's
Where
fucked
you
up.
can see the wiener.
Yeah.
You can see the whole outline of it.
It's like
I
we
know
never would have
that there are
known
men.
if John Hamm hadn't played baseball.
I know that there are men out there with large penises. I'm not saying that it's impossible.
101 episodes in, we're all agreeing to the fact that men can have large members.
Like they're allowed to.
Yes.
If they want.
If they want.
Yeah. If
If
you
it's
work hard
prosthetic
enough,
and
you could have a
looks gray
giant
and
member
waxy,
too. Yeah.
They're
Right.
allowed to.
Yes.
I mean, it's my thing, diversity in wieners. That's my
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking at. Oh, those aren't sweatpants. Those are just
regular pants.
regular
but you can
pants.
see the outline.
Yeah, you can. That looks enhanced. Like that looks like someone drew that penis on.
There's
I'll show it to everyone here. We'll
there's-
go around the room.
There's tons of photos of
Send that-
him
send that
wearing
picture of John
pants
Hamm
where
to
you
me.
can, like,
I'll put it on the internet.
It looks like a fucking
When you
Thomas
look at
Finland
it-
drawing.
It looks like someone drew it on top of his pants.
It looks. That's not flattering at all. Like you can see the balls and then also the head. Like
Yeah.
it's not flattering at all. Yeah.
Maybe not to you.
I don't think that's real. That was photoshopped.
Regardless, I'd be like, John boy, like just
Yeah.
fucking put on some fitting underwear or something.
Yeah.
Like gather that monster up. Like I can't sit across the room from you.
Just
Fucking
knowing.
staring at me. Well
Yeah.
it's like, come on, dude, have a little bit of self-respect.
I'm gonna
It's
like
like,
stop
fucking
trying
hell.
to look up pictures of his penis.
You start getting ads.
I'm gonna
for-
get ads. My Instagram algorithm's
Yeah.
gonna be messed up.
John Hamm appreciation pages. Yeah. Crash zooms into a man's fucking outlined cock.
Anyway,
Wow.
so there were probably some real penises. In
I feel like a
Salò.
lot of them were. I'm gonna just say, a lot of them were real, except for at least that one guy.
Yeah.
So the prosthetics guy worked on one really large wang, a tongue, and an eyeball,
at least,
and the poop.
Yes.
That guy worked on
He
that
did.
poop. That big
Well, it wouldn't be
pile.
like prosthetic.
Yeah, it
that
wouldn't
was
be
just
prosthetic.
It's a pretty
it
easy
was
job.
just Swiss chocolate and
Just the,
marmalade. That would be a chef.
The chef.
The chef
The
was
set
like,
cook.
make sure it looks like cylinders.
Yeah, just so you can cut it up real nice.
It looked like this shit looks like fucking like wet sausage. Like it really does. Wet, dark sausage. It slices up real good.
I'm trying to remember other parts of the movie, but then I just keep thinking about the poop. It really it leaves a
Again,
mark.
The poop is probably the thing that I feel like is the stuff that kind of like just tips it over the edge. Other than obviously the pedophilia, but like the shit
Of course.
does tip it over the edge. I feel like,
Yeah.
you know, like we've already gotten past the fact, like, okay, right, we know they're children. Let's just continue on with this nightmare path. that
I knew
we're
it
all
was
in.
a-
adults.
Yeah,
I
they're
knew-
obviously played by adults, but we know they're adolescents.
YA.
They're children, but
Young adult fiction.
it's like through the course of the movie, we barely remember their names. They dehumanize them. It doesn't really matter. But then you kind of come in and it's like, oh no, now you're going to force them to eat shit or sit in a bath of shit and, you know, kiss men with shit on their lips and
There's
stuff.
poop in the teeth. There's poop
That
on their mouth.
fucking guy. Those four gentlemen
Those four best
are
friends.
fan-fucking-tastic. I hated every single fucking one of them, but loved them all at the same time. They're so well put together, those characters.
I don't know which one was the grossest one who had the wonky eye.
Yeah, the wonky
The
eye
president?
one I think is the most upsetting.
He
Yeah.
is.
I like him.
Yeah, he's actually the worst and the most. I'm trying to remember every horrible thing they did, but he seems like the most depraved.
Yeah.
Showing everyone his butthole.
Yeah, the buttholes.
The butthole
Oh,
stuff.
Yeah.
like early in the film when like the the one girl is serving food and the guy trips her and then starts raping her behind like the table, and then the guy comes over, the guy with the wonky eye, which like we should probably figure out which one of them he is. I don't, maybe it doesn't matter, but he just like pulls down his pants and shows his butthole and he's like, put it in me. and then the guy just moves over after he's done with the girl. And
what a greedy bastard, though.
But
Like,
it's
he's just like,
game.
oh, I want to get mine now, thank you.
It's his game.
It's his game. It's his time.
Yeah.
It's his 3 months. He would not be ejected. Yeah, I don't know who he is. But he's the creepiest one out of the whole bunch. He does the most fucked up stuff, though, I think, as well. Like, some of the things he does. Because it's him and the guy with the facial hair. Who, hold on, maybe I can get these names off you. Just want to
yeah, which is like the guy with the wonky eye, the guy with the beard, the guy with the teeth, and then the other one.
I'm unsure.
So he's just labeled the president, but that's Aldo Valetti. There's the magistrate, then there's the bishop, and then there's the duke. Now I'm troubled, because it's a new photo of the guy, and he's fucking old.
Is he still alive?
He was in Mission Impossible 3. This was Paolo Bonicelli. Yeah. The other guys haven't obviously had quite illustrious careers. But
yeah, he was in quite a bit of stuff. I think he was one of the more mainstream actors, Italian actors.
Well, it's good to know SALO never held him back, which is nice.
No, yeah.
Yeah, the rest of it's
well, I mean, I don't know how many people actually saw it then, because I think it was only available for a month or so before it got banned.
Yeah, it got banned pretty quickly.
In November.
And then it was, whenever it was available in the US originally, I guess it was just like the Laserdisc.
Yeah.
In 1993.
Because Criterion put out the Laserdisc, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it premiered at the Paris Film Festival in November 75, and then it had a brief theatrical run in Italy, and then it was banned in January.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's the way it goes. But yeah, I don't know, right? I mean, rightfully so, probably, for the time. It's 75. I think that's what's kind of more shocking to me, is that he did it in 75.
I mean, during the 70s, there were a lot of films that were made that were kind of like towing that line that was a little bit exploitative. So, I don't know. I mean, Josh, you know more about that time period.
I mean, even if you think of something like Thriller, A Cruel Picture, you can make all kinds of arguments about its artistic merit, but also the director wanted to make something commercial, so he made a rape revenge movie with hardcore inserts in it. You can't get away from the fact that it was meant to be salacious or titillating in some way, otherwise he wouldn't have done it. So it's pretty icky, but also, it's a really good fucking movie. So, and there's a lot of movies that came out around that time that a lot of these filmmakers were, the only way that they could get anything made was through exploitation. Pasolini was actually kind of lucky. I think that his standing was, his family background and just in general having a little bit of money probably helped him.
Right.
But he wasn't alone in making these kind of movies. It was kind of singular in it being accepted as high art, even amongst the arguments and all the rabble-rousing associated with the film.
Right.
Controversy.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's an interesting thing though, that I think that you can draw parallels with a lot of the other films that are made around that time that were slightly less budget and also had more of a responsibility to recoup that money, and so they probably put stuff in it that SALO would arguably probably be grosser in a lot of ways, but it also had something to say where some of these other films maybe don't as much, even though I probably like the other ones more, or at least watch them more often.
Well, I think I said something like this yesterday, where I felt like the offense in SALO has a fair amount of merit, as opposed to, say, I think I was thinking about like Hostel or Serbian Film or the Human Centipede movies. I know they're obviously great comparisons in general, but the offense, like the shock value, is just for its own sake, as opposed to this, where it feels like it has actual meaning behind it.
I think a better comparison would be even especially for how much he loves them, is to think about early John Waters films,
Yeah.
where the shock in those existed just to shock.
Right.
But it wasn't. There was a point to the shock, to being shocking, where Pasolini, I think, was the flip side of that coin, where he actually did have a real purpose in that, in the shit eating, where Pink Flamingos had shit eating just to in and of itself. That was the art of it. Weirdly, the audience being, oh my god, that was the actual performance art of that, not the shit eating in and of itself. If that makes sense.
What was the poop made out of in that movie?
Poop.
Yeah, that was actual poop.
That was real dog shit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Divine actually ate dog
I mean,
shit.
I don't know what the dog ate beforehand. Probably dog food. It was made out of dog food.
It was made.
Poop was made out of dog food.
It was made out of dog food that was processed through a dog.
Yes, processed dog food. Excellent. I want to get a round of our ratings before we wrap this up. Is there anything that you guys want to add about anything before we get into our ratings?
No, I think we're good.
So
I think this film's just the discourse around it, I think is actually as interesting as the film itself. I think the film itself is something you have to experience. Us describing it to you in any way, shape, or form does not replace the experience of actually viewing it.
I don't even think we talked about it.
No, that's what I mean. It's like it's kind of how do we talk about it? It's like, oh, this madam's talking about opening her ass, and like we had that conversation where you were like, do you really think she had a great ass?
Oh,
as much as she was going on, she was touting about her ass being like the best in Italy or whatever. And I was like, I don't know.
I mean, they did it. They did it in the movie. They voted on the best butt.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
You just got to compare the butts, and it's very subjective.
It's very subjective.
Who's got the best butt? Mm-hmm. I didn't love her butt, but good for her.
Yeah.
Self-confidence is key.
Other people loved her butt enough to see poop come out of it.
Yeah.
So there you go.
But, I mean, I didn't see that, so maybe that would have tilted the scale a bit.
That's true.
If I had seen the poop come out.
Who the fuck wants to see that, though?
I mean, a little bit.
Oh, God.
I mean,
I don't know if I'll like it. I've never seen it before.
I don't not want to. I've seen it.
We watched Rats.
Rats, that's right.
Yeah, we watched poop come out of a butthole in Rats, the movie.
Oh, well, I saw that.
Year.
I saw that film as well.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. There's the
camera.
Oh, the camera in the toilet.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's real.
That's real. That's her butthole.
All right. I did see it.
She's an attractive person, right?
Yeah.
See?
There you go.
Wait, did I meet that person as well?
Yeah.
I did meet her.
She was wearing like a nice dress.
I saw her whole butthole and a poop come out of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You told me that you saw
She's
her
very-
butthole and you
I
were
had a drink
talking
with
to her.
I don't remember
Intimate.
anything. Do you think I remember the film festival last year? I'm not going to remember it this year either.
It's too much going on.
Oh, God, that's either a victim of your own mind or a damning indictment on the festival itself. I don't understand.
It is my brain.
It's your
It
brain.
is my brain.
It's 100% your brain. I'm sorry to
Festival
say.
is great.
Yeah, because you do that with everything.
I don't remember anything.
Yeah, it makes you come across as incredibly callous.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. I'm not forgetful. I'm just an asshole. Okay? All right, so
Yeah.
let's get our ratings. And I think we're going to switch things up past 100 episodes. So we are going to split up visibility and context. So you can give me 3 ratings.
Oh.
We don't have to go crazy. This one's easy.
Three
because
ratings.
visibility,
Okay.
context,
Uh-huh.
and then we
We
think about the
average
film.
them. Yeah, then we average them, and then we've got, we've
Is it
got a
less?
real number.
I can go first if you want.
Yeah,
this
please,
one's easy for
please
me.
give us an
Yeah.
example.
Visibility, okay?
Uh-huh.
What's the lighting like? How long is it on screen? Can I see it?
Frame size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Because
Is that something that everyone will agree on, though, with this one in particular?
Well, that's
this
why
is kind
we're
of
gonna go. That's why we're gonna go about it.
Okay.
So I think visibility is a 5 because
Place your
there's
bets. If
very
everyone
early
doesn't
in the
pick
film
5.
you get that full shot of like that first young man before they even get into the chateau, right? pans down and goes, take off your pants. I mean, that's just shot number 1 out of hundreds in this motion picture. This is why we don't do penis scenes in this episode.
Yeah,
Because
I seem to recall I came up behind you in the theater
Yes.
and said, I want time code for every penis you see.
I heard you say that to her. I was like, oh no, because
No
then she was
joke.
scrambling. She's like,
I was
oh,
like,
no.
oh god, I don't, because I was gonna do it, but I didn't write down when it started. I needed a little
you
bit
could
more.
just put time code for when it started and then at the end of the movie.
Yeah, just,
That's just
the full motion
yeah,
picture.
that's
Yeah.
This movie is chock-a-block full of nudity for everybody involved. So I said 5.
Nobody.
Context is a 5 considering the actual plot and narrative of this motion picture, because if you're telling me that you kidnapped a bunch of children to do an orgies and do whatever the heck you want with them for 120 days,
Yeah.
and if I'm not seeing buttholes,
It would
and
be
I'm not
weird.
seeing everything,
Yeah. It'd be weird if
Need
it
some
was
scrotes.
tame.
I need some
Yes.
scrotes, I need some buttholes, I need some boobs, I need
Yeah.
some
All
Wait.
the pubis.
pubis.
Pretty much.
I need everything. Got to see it all, and we did.
Piles.
Like
Piles
to
of
to the point where it just
Sorry.
You know, every time that happens and I hear it in the headphones, it sounds like old-timey, like, lightning and thunder.
Excellent.
When they did it in, like, radio shows.
That's fun.
Where they just, like, hit, like, a giant saw that's used for cutting down fucking red elks. Yeah, like that sort of thing.
red elks.
Isn't that a tree?
Red oak?
Yes,
Wood?
sure.
I don't know.
Nice.
All
Absolutely.
right, back to pubis.
Yeah,
There's
anyway.
so much nudity that it doesn't even matter anymore. You know, where there's always gonna be a naked person on the screen. And for the film, I gave it a 5 because this was really entertaining for me when I saw it, and it made me think about it afterwards, which is always really fun to have something that kind of sticks with you. And seeing it in the cinema was a real treat, because I don't think it absolutely wouldn't have had the same effect. It would have been wild to sit in the living room and watch it at 4 p.m. on a Tuesday, but I don't think it would have stuck with me just the same, because I might have been like, oh, I need to put clothes in the dryer. So, because that's just how I am. Would you like to go, Katie? And
I think I agree with the penis visibility, context, all of that. There were naked people throughout this film, and prosthetic or not, the peni were were fully visible in each scene that they were in. And as far as like overall rating, I would say between like 4.5 and 5, because it's still a little exploitative, but I feel like it's also really important as far as film history goes. So that's what I'm going to land on.
excellent. Josh.
Okay. Visibility and context 5. We covered it. I mean, it's a movie about dicks. So, and there's lots of them.
Yeah.
Just piles and piles and piles of dicks. They don't
Gross.
smell good, I'm sure.
Ew.
Nothing in this movie smells good. The movie smells bad.
There's probably a lot of smegma.
Other than the poop scenes.
That's true.
Lots of chocolate.
The
Orangey chocolate.
the Paddington's favorite
The
scenes.
Paddington scenes
The Paddington
of
scenes.
SALO. Smell
Yeah,
great.
and no, I give this movie a 5. I love this film. I saw it for the first time, I think it was 2008. Was the first time I finally saw it. And yeah, I don't know. This is just something I revisit pretty often. This is the 4th time that I publicly screened it, which makes me pretty happy. There's no hell.
Wow.
Because I'd definitely be there after I die. But as it stands, luckily, God's fake, and so is the devil. So, more Pasolini for everyone. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm a big fan of the film. I don't watch it as often as I used to when I was younger. But,
Yeah, that's
you know,
fair.
I do like coming back to it every 5 or 6 years.
Ryan.
So I mistook the tree for a red elm. It's not a red elk.
Okay.
Red elk would, I guess, because we saw Princess Mononoke the other day. That's
Sure,
why.
sure. Yeah.
yeah, I feel like a broken record. I'm basically going to repeat everything that everybody else just said. So,
Cool.
5-5, and I gave it 5 because I do think it's important to cinematic history. Yeah, and I'd seen it before, so I mean, I was kind of just like I was just interested to see how this film was be taken in 2025 because yeah, I was watching it and like other than feeling a little bit off when they were eating the shit, yeah, I do feel like there's maybe something wrong with me. I'm very desensitized to things now. I should have been more offended by this, but I wasn't. But there we are.
Yeah, we're all
There
broken.
we go. Yeah. But yeah, I do like SALO. Like I wouldn't put it on every Friday night with a beer in my hand and fucking enjoy it. But I mean, at the same time, yeah, if this is maybe the second or third time I've seen it, and yeah, I do like it, and I recognize its importance, and I think it's
Great.
it's one of those.
Wow. Well, boy, thanks for joining us, you guys. And I can't remember if did you make a website for Uncomfortable Brunch?
Yeah.
Do you have
Yeah.
one?
We
Do
have
you
a
have like
website.
your merch and stuff on there?
Yeah, all that good stuff's on there
Yeah,
now.
Josh made us a website, and we're also going to start an email list because we're trying to exit social media. And by trying to, I mean we will, as Uncomfortable Brunch. I don't know about myself as an individual. It's really hard.
It is hard because you want to be out there
I
in
don't.
the public, but
I don't know
also
if that's
Not at all.
necessarily true.
I want
yeah.
to leave. all of
Yeah.
it.
well, no,
But anyways,
you
our,
know what I mean.
I do know what you mean.
our next Uncomfortable Brunch will be in Tampa on May 3rd, whatever that first Saturday of May is, and we're actually showing Dancer in the Dark. We're having a Lars von Trier weekend, so Dancer in the Dark at Sunray Cinema at 11:30 a.m. on May 3rd, and then on May 4th we'll be showing Dogville at Enzian, and that will be at 11 a.m. because that's a longer movie.
Yep.
Excellent. I'm excited.
Can't wait to go.
I like
To
it.
the
fun.
one at Enzian, probably. I don't think we're going to Tampa that weekend.
Yeah.
But everyone
Yeah.
should go because that theater is really fun.
If you live in Tampa, you should go, and you should also go to Viper Video because
Oh my gosh.
that's the best place on the planet.
That was a
as far as
beautiful
I'm
day,
concerned.
honestly. Waking up,
I got fucking First Contact for $1 on video.
going to Tampa, going to the new Sunray Cinema, watching SALO with friends, and then going to Viper Video and spending way too much money, and then going for a drink afterwards, and then buying more movies on the internet.
Nice.
Because we are horrible.
Man, I got that Richard Kern DVD short film collection, hardcore, and I got Uncle Sam, and I got Problem Child 1 and 2.
Oh, you bought those?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, I did.
Nice.
Yeah, someone
I love
was
that.
someone was going home with that.
Yeah, no, I love Problem Child.
So it was
The movie's fucked
good.
up.
Yeah, big fan of that joint.
Yeah, it's a great place. Well, yeah, thank you guys for being here, and I'm excited about more Uncomfortable Brunches. I'm excited to see more penises in the brunches, and then we can have you guys back. And let's see, coming to you from the Chateau de la Coste, because they didn't say what the name of the mansion was in SALO, so we're going to go to the Marquis de Sade's creepy basement. I have been Laura.
Molly Ringwald was not in a ghost movie. They're something like a Salt Eater. It
Okay.
doesn't exist.
Okay.
Except obviously in whatever I thought of.
I thought I knew what you're talking about. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought I did as well, but I'm fucking wrong.
It's a Mandela effect.
Yeah.
Well, I've been Kat.
I'm Josh.
And we will see you next time. Oh, bye-bye.
Yeah.
Just-
I mean, if you're going dry,
oh
Like,
God, yeah.
you know.
It's just
Yeah.
rubbing. Oh,
yeah.
that sounds
It's
really
gonna hurt
like.
to pee, for sure.
'Cause
Yeah,
that's
it's
where you
right.
girls pee out of.
Well,
It's,
no, it's
it's
just 'cause
just
it's-
very close to the urethra.
Why was I going to try to explain that? No, Josh. This is why.
Do you know that? Do you know that?
No,
there's an Instagram
that's
account.
me all the time. He says like a joke thing, and then I start trying to explain it, and I'm like, oh my God, why am I explaining this? And then he gets mad at me.
Finish your explanation.
I'm kidding. I get it from my mom. I'm sorry.
I do that sometimes too. Oh.
One, two, one, two. One, two.
There is an Instagram account where a woman puts on her Hinge profile that's
One,
the
two,
question
one, two.
is, where do women pee out of? And she just posts all of the asinine responses that stupid guys respond, trying to be slick or whatever. It's pretty funny.
My favorite is whenever guys are
Whose
like,
turn
do
is
you
it?
have to take your tampon out to pee?
I love it.
Yes, you do. You absolutely
Yeah,
do.
it's the same hole.
Speaking of which, I just found tampon-shaped flasks on Amazon that I almost bought.
Oh.
I like it. Yeah. They have little wrapper things, too, so you can put them in your purse.
Are they like how big? Or there's different sizes of tampon.
Well, I guess
So
it
like a
depends on
soup-
how much
it's like a
booze
It's
you
not
want to
meant
put
to
in
be
there.
used as a tampon. It's
No,
meant to be a
no, I
decoy.
meant no. I know it's a decoy, but like is it like just like a supersized tampon?
I would get like an extra
I think that
extra
it's
super heavy flow.
I think it's akin to a couple shots is all that it holds.
It's a tsunami down there. Yeah.
Of Emmanuel and the something of O. But it has nothing to do with the novel or the book. I didn't watch the Emmanuel one yet. I've watched the O one. And they shot it, 5 cast members, crew of 3. The first 45 minutes is really the first act, and all it is a bunch of awkward sex. But then when it goes bonkers, it goes bonkers. Because the whole first act is basically just threesome that takes place with this couple trying to seduce this young girl who's naive and, a slut and all that, but she's still kind of naive. Well, they're selling her into sex slavery.
Uh-oh.
And then they deliver her to the couple that bought her, and it's fucking crazy. And they clearly made it for a ham sandwich and $10. Like, it's, it's icky. I love it. It's not actual porn, no penetration, but it's
Is that what
pretty
makes
close.
it porn to you?
Intent. I mean, it's not hardcore pornography, let's put it that way.
Okay.
It certainly is pornography. I mean, that is intended to be jerked off to. I didn't, but
You didn't. Okay.
I mean, I'd tell you if I did. I probably just wouldn't bring it up.
Since you're pointing out that you didn't jerk off, then we know you didn't. But if you're ever talking about it and you're like,
Yeah.
You
I watched
Like-
this by myself.
Well, more it's like how I'll tell you, like, I've watched Antichrist 8 times. I watched it 9, but I'm not going to tell you about that one. That kind of thing.
that one time.